the Nevada Department of Transportation. Jeff recently became the Assistant Director of Engineering for the Nevada DOT. Jeff graduated from the University of Reno in 1993 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering. Jeff is a registered professional engineer and also a certified project manager. Jeff started his career at the department in 1995, where he worked in the Roadway and Traffic Operations Division before joining project management in January of 2011, where he has been for the last 10 years. Before transitioning into the new role of Assistant Director of Engineering, Jeff was managing the I-15 Tropicana design build project located in the heart of Las Vegas. So we should be expecting Jeff Lerud here any moment. There he is. Welcome, Jeff.
Hi there. Thank you. Let me share my screen here.
Great.
Is it working?
Oh, we're still seeing the camera view of you, Jeff.
Okay. How's that?
Still looking at you.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Well, it's great, but I don't know what you wanted to show us. Are you sharing your whole screen or just the application window? Oh, there it is. Now it's coming up. Great. You got your PowerPoint now.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry for that.
And just a reminder for everybody, if they want to be able to see the presentation better instead of in the small window, they can hit the maximize arrows there in the upper right corner.
Okay. I lost it. Okay, so I think I've got it.
Yep, that looks perfect.
Okay. But now, just trying to get to my note screen. You're not seeing my note screen right now, are you?
You've got the presentation full screen up there. Okay.
All right, sorry for that little bit of confusion there. It went really well when Meg and I were trying it out, but anyway. So hi everyone, good morning. My name is Jeff Lerud, Assistant Director of Engineering for the Department of Transportation. So I'm here today to talk to you about an exciting upcoming project in Las Vegas, the reconstruction of the I-15 Tropicana Interchange. So Interstate 15 goes right through the heart of Las Vegas, serving as a lifeline to both tourism and commerce. One of the most crucial points along I-15 is its intersection with Tropicana Avenue. This slide shows the project limits with the existing Tropicana interchange at the bottom of the screen and the Harmon Avenue grade separation here at the top of the screen. Tropicana serves as one of the main gateways to the resort corridor as it connects I-15 with Las Vegas Boulevard. It provides a connection to some of the valley's largest employment centers like the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the McCarran Airport, and numerous hotel and casinos along the Las Vegas Strip. Construction of the project is going to be very critical with consideration of the adjacent stakeholders, like the T-Mobile Arena, home of the Las Vegas Knights, and a venue for many concerts. Go Knights, go! In-N-Out Burger over here in the northwest quadrant of the interchange, one of the most popular burger joints on the West Coast, and arguably the one in Las Vegas might be the busiest. the New York Hotel and Casino on the northwest corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana, the MGM Hotel and Casino on the northeast corner of that intersection. We've got the Excalibur on the southwest corner and Tropicana on the southeast corner. Finally, last but not least, we have Allegiant Stadium and the Raiders, or home of the Las Vegas Raiders and the Runnin' Rebels college football team. So this venue also, like was just previously stated by Mr. Hill, it's slated to have many, many huge events ranging from soccer events, huge concerts. The Pro Bowl is going to be there. The NFL Pro Bowl is going to be there in 2022. And I understand that the Raiders are offering to host the 2024 Super Bowl. But I think those discussions are still taking place. Needless to say, though, this is a very high-profile project and a very interesting area of Las Vegas. So for today's presentation, I'm going to talk about the history of the project, talk about some of the scope elements, and then the schedule and budget, of course. So to start with, this slide right here shows you kind of a timeline of the I-15 and the Tropicana area over the last decade or so. So in 2012 right here, the I-15 South Design Build project was completed in this location. The project consisted of 6 miles of I-15 improvements, where Tropicana was the northern project limit and Silverado Ranch was the southern project limit. Tropicana was chosen as the northern project limit because it was really narrow to get under Tropicana at that location on I-15. So essentially it was a bottleneck. So that was where the northern improvements ended. We're going to fix that with our project. We're going to open it up and for future I-15 improvements. So at the completion of the I-15 South Design Build, and with the understanding that the Tropicana interchange was a bottleneck or a choke point, the department kicked off the Tropicana feasibility study in 2014. The feasibility study was completed at the end of 2015 with a recommended alternative to take forward into the environmental process. In 2017, the environmental process began with oversight from FHWA, concluding with a public hearing in November of 2019 and a finding of no significant impact, or FONSI, in February of 2020. So once the department had the FONSI in hand, we were able to begin our procurement process to bring a design builder on board. And I'll go into a little more detail on that on the schedule slide, but that's kind of where we're at right now. One thing that I wanted to point out to you is right here, we see the Raiders came to town in March of 2017. There's usually questions and comments stating that we're reconstructing the interchange because the Raiders are coming or that they've arrived. But as you can see from this timeline, the department already had completed the Tropicana feasibility study. And so we were well underway of the process of getting the project moving forward. But with that said, the Allegiant Stadium and the Raiders definitely add a little twist of complexity to the project. So we totally appreciate them, but we were definitely in the planning stages. So next I'm going to talk about some of the project elements. So to orient yourself here, north is to the top of the page. We've got T-Mobile Arena over to the northeast, In-N-Out Burger over here to the northwest. This rendering depicts the existing interchange. We have 3 through lanes in each direction on Tropicana. We have dual left and right turn lanes at the ramp terminals. We have a southbound to eastbound direct connect flyover ramp. And one thing that I want to talk about here, you really can't see it in this rendering, but we really have minimal sidewalk connectivity. We don't really have a sidewalk on, I think it's the north side where it's really compressed or depressed into the pavement where it's almost like there's not even a sidewalk, but we don't have very good connectivity from Dean Martin over to the west to the Las Vegas Boulevard to the east. So that's something that we want to address with our project. Also, as part of the project, we intend to replace the existing structure with a longer structure so we have more room underneath the structure for I-15 improvements, a wider structure so we have more capacity on Tropicana itself, and then an increased clearance over I-15. So this is kind of what the rendering looks like of our recommended alternative. And one thing I want to point out about the recommended alternative is it's a plan that we brought to a 30% level that we're sharing with the design build teams, and then the design build teams will take that 30% and they'll make it better. They'll innovate, they'll come up with new ideas, better ways to get things done. But everything I'm showing you today is subject to change, if you will. So, but this is the reference design that we're currently working with. So this rendering right here has a wider structure, which will allow for one more lane in each direction on Tropicana itself. We have triple left turn lanes and triple right turn lanes, triple left turn lanes and dual right turn lanes to get on to access I-15 northbound or I-15 southbound. We have triple left and triple right turn lanes at the northbound off-ramp. We have triple right turn lanes at the southbound off-ramp. We also are going to maintain some kind of connectivity for the southbound to eastbound direct connect flyover. And then as part of our project too, we have 10-foot sidewalks on both the north side and the south side of Tropicana that extend from Dean Martin down here to the west, all the way over to about the New York, tying into existing sidewalks on both sides, on the north side and south side of Tropicana. So making this longer structure, it opens up the window for future improvements on I-15. Like I said, it's kind of a bottleneck right now, so this is definitely opening it up so we can expand I-15 into the future. And then lastly, the clearance over I-15. We're going to increase the clearance to 16.5 feet. As you can see right here, we currently have a 15-foot 10 clearance over I-15, and you can see some of the dents or marks into the bridge structure that have happened from tall loads. The next project element I want to talk about is the intersection at Dean Martin. It's the first intersection west of the southbound ramp terminal. So this existing intersection it has full movements all the way around. It has left turns, it has right turns, it has through movements on every leg. If you've ever driven this area, you know it's extremely busy, and the proximity of the ramp terminal to the intersection itself makes it really hard to maneuver in this section of roadway. And as a result, a lot of times the westbound traffic really backs up right into the interchange. So our plan is to modify this intersection and get rid of some of that gridlock. And how we're doing that is we're going to remove the left turns from Tropicana, westbound and eastbound, and we're also going to remove the left turns off of Dean Martin and the through movements off of Dean Martin. So this new configuration will allow for a free flow westbound all the way through the intersection. Oops, excuse me. Free flow all the way through the intersection, and they won't have to stop. In the eastbound direction, I'll show you in the next slide, they will have to stop right here to allow for this heavy dual right turn movement to turn onto Tropicana. So essentially what we're doing is we're making it right into Dean Martin, right out of Dean Martin, right into Dean Martin, and right out of Dean Martin. Westbound traffic doesn't have to stop. Eastbound traffic has to stop periodically to allow for these dual right turns. And what we're accomplishing here is we're really reducing this gridlock in this westbound direction, as the first signal is all the way down at Polaris. So that's really going to improve the operations right there. But in order to accommodate this configuration, we still need to perpetuate the access north-south from the north side of Tropicana to the south side of Tropicana. And we're doing that with realigning the existing Dean Martin underneath the new structure of Tropicana. And I'll show that to you a little bit better in this upcoming slide. So over here we have the Dean Martin intersection with Tropicana. As you can see, Dean Martin comes down. This is the existing Dean Martin. Comes down south. It jogs out to the west, ties into Tropicana, and then it comes back, jogs to the east, and then parallels I-15 again. Well, with our new configuration, starting at the top here, this is Dean Martin as it is today. We come south. This is basically the point where it jogs out to the west today. But instead of jogging out to the west, we're actually going to come underneath the southbound off-ramp. Then we're going to come underneath the new Tropicana structure. We're going to continue southbound. Then we're going to come back underneath the southbound on-ramp to I-15. And then we're going to tie back into the existing Dean Martin that you see today. So we start up here at the top of the screen. We come under the southbound off-ramp, underneath the new interchange structure, underneath the southbound off-ramp, and then tie back into the existing Dean Martin down below. And so what that does is it helps maintain that access from the north side of Tropicana to the south side of Tropicana. So another project element that I wanted to talk about is the HOV ramps at the Harmon grade separation. To orient yourself, we're actually looking to the south. The Raider Stadium is just up here. We've got In-N-Out Burger here, T-Mobile Arena over here. Harmon Avenue is an existing 6-lane facility, 3 lanes in each direction, and it's got a sidewalk on the north side of the structure that connects over I-15. These are 2 high-rise condominiums, the Martin and the Panorama Towers, and the folks that live there, quite often they will take the sidewalk over to the strip. So it's got a lot of heavy pedestrian traffic right there. So this is what the interchange or the grade separation is going to look like with our HOV ramps. So we'd have a northbound HOV ramp tying into Harmon and a reciprocating southbound HOV ramp on I-15. This next slide will give you a really better look at it. Unfortunately, we're oriented to the north, so I'm switching on you. But as you can see, the northbound off-ramp splits into a left turn pocket and a right turn pocket, and then we have a southbound on-ramp. This is a high T intersection, and so what that means is we've got 3 lanes of traffic going westbound, 1 lane traps into the left turn pocket that goes to the southbound on-ramp. 2 lanes continue through without having to stop. The 3rd lane is added when this movement, this left turn, adds to it, and then 3 lanes continue to the west. So today we have a 3-lane section up there. So we go 3, 2 through, 1 left turn, 2 through, add this left turn from the northbound off ramp, and then we'd have 3 going through to the west. In the eastbound direction, we have 3 lanes going all the way through. They have to stop at a stop bar here, and the outside lane is a shared right through lane, so they can turn right down to go onto southbound I-15. One thing I'd like to note too is I mentioned the high-rise condos, the Martin and the Panorama Towers over here to the west side of I-15. Since we're not widening the sidewalk, we're not widening the bridge, so we're not adding any width to the sidewalk, they really requested to have some kind of positive separation between the traffic and the pedestrians. So we're actually going to be installing a pedestrian barrier rail right along the sidewalk that will help give some positive reinforcement or positive separation from folks that are walking versus the vehicles that are driving on that road there. So since this is a presentation for the Nevada Infrastructure Concrete Conference, I thought I should share some fun facts about the project related to the concrete to date. So again, I just want to preface this. This is for our reference design. When the design builder comes on board, these quantities could change up or down. We'll have to see what kind of proposals we get. But with that said, on the I-15 main line and curb and gutter and sidewalks, we have over 15,000 cubic yards of Class A and Class E concrete. Barrier rail, we have over 27,000 linear feet of concrete barrier rail on the project. We have over 2,000 feet of large reinforced concrete boxes. We have over 700 feet of wide rectangular channels. We have over 12,000 feet of storm drain ranging from a 24-inch diameter to a 54-inch diameter. And then we have over 7,000 feet of drilled shafts ranging from 36 inches to 120 inches. All of this I pulled from our latest estimate, comes to the tune of about $40 to $50 million of our overall project budget. The last project element that I wanted to share today is the expansion of the department's active traffic management system, or ATM system. We're going to be adding 10 new ATM sites to our project, or through our project, 5 in the northbound direction and 5 in the southbound direction, adding to our already existing 42 ATM sites that just went live this year, actually. For those of you that may not know, active traffic management is a system that provides the local traffic management center, FAST, another tool in their toolbox to help manage our freeways down in Las Vegas. An ATM site is essentially a gantry that straddles over the roadway, and it consists of full color dynamic message signs, CCTVs, and flow detectors that are used to provide real-time information to motorists. Some of the unique features of the system, the speed limit, they are digital, but they're black on white, so they are enforceable by NHP, and they're variable, which I'll talk about here in a minute or two. The yellow X's can be used to caution the motorist or to alert a motorist that there's a downstream lane closure and that they have to merge over to the left or right. The red X's These are used to indicate that the lane is actually closed, as you can see here in the schematic. And then I'd also like to point out that the HOV signs are also digital, and that lends us to having the opportunity to opening up the HOV lanes to general purpose traffic if the congestion is such from a traffic incident or a lane closure or something like that. So really, to sum up, the functionality of the active traffic management system provides traveler information like travel times. It alerts motorists about crashes, speed limit changes, and lane restrictions. It manages incidents using the arrows and X's for lane closures, and they can also open up the HOV lanes to general purpose traffic like I mentioned. Finally, when there isn't an incident, the speed limit can be adjusted to match the downstream real speeds. And that's where I was talking about this variable speed limit. This is called speed harmonization. So rather than having that stop and go traffic through a congested area, the thought behind that is if you put the speed limit at what the downstream speed is, everybody will move through that section of traffic in a uniform speed and a consistent speed. And it really helps with travel time reliability, smooths the traffic flows, which in turn reduces emissions. So I know this sounds really good in theory, but what does it look like in real life? Well, I just happen to have a real life example here. This is I-15 southbound near Flamingo. And so it's a kind of a sequence of screenshots that show how an incident is managed. So I'm going to start down here on the right and go right to left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in screen 1 here, motorists are warned that the speed limit ahead is about to change. You can't really see it. They're diamond signs, but it's a sign that just gives the motorists a heads up that, hey, something's changing downstream. In screen 2 here, motorists are made aware that there's a crash at Flamingo, right lanes are closed, and the speed limits are reduced to 50 miles an hour. So I don't know if you can see the screen very well, but it does say crash ahead at Flamingo, right lanes closed. So it's relaying that information to the motorists. In screen 3 over here, motorists are continuing to be told that the speed limit is reduced to 50 miles an hour. Screen 4 right here, motorists see a yellow X and the word merge above it, meaning that they're going to have to merge over a lane really soon. Screen 5 here, what you see here is there's a green arrow, meaning that the lane to the off-ramp is still open, a red X showing that that lane is closed, and a yellow X indicating that you're going to have to move over one more lane because this lane is about to close downstream. Screen 5 here, you can actually see the incident. 2 lanes are closed. Let me read my note here. Oh, so this is where the crash took place. You can see the 2 red X's for the closed lanes, the green arrows for the open lanes. And one thing that I want to point out here is over the HOV lane, you can actually see a green arrow. So we've actually opened up the HOV lane to general purpose traffic to help manage that incident, help reduce that congestion and that delay. And screen number 7 here, motorists have passed the location of the crash and all lanes are open. So it's just an indication that there's nothing else happening downstream. In screen 7 here, once again, all the arrows, all the lanes are open and they have green arrows. And one thing I'd like to point out here is the HOV lane has actually reverted back to say 2+ only. So now it's a traditional HOV lane and you have to have at least 2 occupants to drive in that lane. And then this last screen right here, screen number 9, is just showing that the traffic is wide open and there's nothing going on downstream. For those of you that are savvy enough, this is actually Allegiant Stadium right here, home of the Raiders. So this next slide discusses schedule and budget. So where are we at in schedule? We just released our RFQ in August of this year, and we got our statement of qualifications back. They've been submitted, they've been reviewed, and we've got a short list of proposers. On November 9th, we sent out our draft RFP to that short list of proposers. They're reviewing them. They're going to come back to the department in December timeframe with any kind of comments, any kind of questions, any kind of clarifications they need with our draft RFP, just so we all are on the same page moving forward. So those comments will be taken. The RFP will be adjusted as needed, and then the final RFP will be sent out in January of 2021. So then the RFP will be out. The design build contractors will be preparing their proposals. Proposals will be due June of next year. So just about 6 months after the RFP is distributed. Then we will review the proposals and come up with the best value proposal and have our design build selection August, September of 2021 with an NTP1. During those first 90 days, that's when the contractor will get their offices in order, get a lot of their management plans in place, a lot of their documentation in place. And then 90 days later, we will issue an NTP2, and that's when they can actually begin construction. So since it's at the end of 2021, we'll more than likely see them begin construction at the beginning of 2022. And right now our schedule is looking at about a 2.5 to 3 year construction window. So that's all of 22, all of 23, all of 24. So hopefully we will be completely out of there by 2025, open to traffic with a brand new interchange and no choke points at Tropicana. As far as the budget is concerned, right now we have a construction budget of a range between 170 and 220 million. Add in our PE and our right-of-way, we've got a total budget of about 200 to 250 million at this time. So if you would like some more information, obviously you can reach out to me and the project team, but you can also visit the website at i-15tropicana.org. It has all of the documentation in place from our feasibility study right up through our environmental process, and it's starting to get populated with our reference information documentation, so you can even see some of that. Some of our traffic studies and everything like that is out there as well. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That was a fantastic presentation. At this time, I'd like to invite anybody who has any questions for Jeff to go ahead and put them in the Q&A section over here. Charles Stewart says, congratulations on your new role at NDOT.
Thank you.
And we'll just give folks a moment or two here. I think that's a really interesting system, your active traffic management there. I hope that it works really well to solve some of that slow and go effect that you get along the resort corridor there. Megan Hill asks, do they use traffic management systems like this in other big cities?
Yeah, in fact, when we were rolling this out, some of the team, I wasn't included in it, but we went and did like peer exchanges in, I think it was Minneapolis, and I want to say Seattle as well. So yeah, some of the bigger cities do have that. Atlanta.
Another question has come in. Have any of the automated signs been hacked, or are there errors on the part of the operators?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question right offhand. They shouldn't be able to be hackable, if you will, but in fact, the messages that are posted on there usually come from a approved message, like a package of messages that are approved. So there typically isn't any random things put out on those message boards.
Good. And Garth comments, sounds like a challenge.
Oh, the project, yeah, it should be interesting. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait till proposals come in because we've been racking our brains for so long on this, and it's going to be really neat to see some of the innovation.
There's a comment here and then a question as well. It says, I've seen ATM work well in Germany. Are there concerns that reduced gas tax revenues could slow this project?
At this time, I'm not aware of any concerns about our project being slowed down. In fact, we received a $50 million infra grant from the Federal Highway Administration, so everything is pushing full steam ahead. So I don't see anything slowing us down at this time.
Great. Okay, well, I think we've addressed all of the questions at this time. So I'd like to thank you again, Jeff, for that fantastic presentation. And now I'd like to call up Charles Stewart from the Southwest Concrete Pavement Association for some announcements.